I'm really proud of Natasha. I've known her for 20 years, and anybody that's in the creative scene knows just how difficult it is to get something going. I'm a journalist. I'm actually an investigative journalist. I used to be undercover, and I did lots of stuff for the Beeb and for Channel 4, and everything I did was about the black community. There aren't many of us that are doing stuff within the black community in the mainstream. So anytime something would happen, be it problems in the church, knife crime, they would call me, which is why I took such an interest when I saw on social media that Tasha was doing something like this. It's really important for us to tell our own stories, and thank God the internet is here, so we can tell our own stories uncensored, unfiltered, and basically, not to offend anybody here, unwhitewashed, which is really, really important. Also, if you want to go on social media, make sure you hashtag Growing Pains Screening.
Yeah,
so we can get all our we can get all our pictures and everything out there. And we're going to do a Q&A afterwards. So if you've got any questions for the cast, like your first reactions, please do the questions before I come up and speak to the cast. But without further ado, I want to ask Natasha to come up. Director, producer, cast member, annoying, but we love her. I'm joking. We love Natasha.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming. It means so much to me. Thank you, Juilana, for waiting when I was late. Thank you for hosting.
Time is money.
Okay. Thank you, Rochelle. I don't know where Rochelle's gone. Oh, there she is. Without Rochelle, this would not have happened. So can we just clap for Rochelle, please? This is not the last time you'll see me in here, okay? I just want to say thanks to all of my friends and special Jessie, of course. Best support system ever. And all my friends, because without you guys, I wouldn't have material for Growing Pains. So if you guys then I wouldn't have material. So I don't know if you guys know, but I've been writing Growing Pains for about 4 years, maybe more, like in little bits. And I was just really, really scared to try. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And then I was just writing, and then eventually it all came together, and I got pregnant, and then I was like, this is it. There's no time like the president, so let me go now. So I'd just like to say that the first 10 minutes is just a recap of season 1, and then we're going to get into season 2. I hope you enjoy it. It's blood, sweat and tears, so enjoy.
How you establish your characters and how you related to each one of them. How did you find your story?
Do you know, I think we should take that to Rita first, because seeing as she's the only representing the galdem up here. Go on, Rita.
Well, obviously, I think I play a lot of this kind of character, where I can't really relate to the character that much, but it makes it more exciting, and it means I can act more, I guess, because it's nothing like me. So, I don't know, it's Tash's idea, so she just tells me what my character is, and then I get into it, obviously, yeah.
It's really interesting, Rita, just to go on what our lovely lady was saying there. You said you can't really relate to it, but you're a woman, and some of the discussions you were having with your friend that came to see you when you was talking about your mum's partner and the sexual abuse that you went through. Do you feel a sense of responsibility? Because of course, even though this is just a web series, this is really important, and that kind of crosses the line of race. It's no longer a race thing. It's no longer Growing Pains. This is something that we've all been seeing with the hashtag #MeToo. Do you realise the importance of that when you're acting out that kind of scene?
100%, and that scene was also important because I think I played it like it was nothing, and that's what happens in real life. Rashid's scene was about, his father hitting him, which seems to have more of a precedence with people than someone being raped, which is quite, no one thought it was funny when he was having his one, but when, everyone was talking about me being raped, it was funny. So
that's quite interesting. Can I throw it out to you guys? Because even when I was laughing at some of the stuff, I knew it wasn't funny. Do you think we were laughing because we're too close to the ends? Because a lot of the stuff we were laughing about wasn't it was really serious. But do you think that was kind of like a coping mechanism? Is anybody willing to take that answer?
It's a common thing. Growing up, I know girls in my estate where man then will be just in the flat smoking weed and will try it on a girl and do it. But she won't report that. Do you understand? It's a common thread. So it's quite interesting for me, for her, when she said that she can't relate to none of those characters that she played. So how did you research that role? How did you embody that to try and translate that over?
You've seen season 1 or what, but that's in season 1, my character just is, I mean, the fact that she's sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend, I can't relate to that.
Common.
Obviously.
Common.
Yeah, I can't relate to that.
Common. You know it's common.
I don't know.
She's the only girl character in the whole piece, so she gets exploited a lot.
What would you say to people that would look at someone like Rita's character and be like, come on, man, this girl's getting pushed about, she's drinking, she can't look after her youth.
I think
was that purposeful, or is that just what it's like for a girl in the ends?
I mean, I'm showing you an example of what happens to a girl from the ends, but you haven't seen the rest where her character would develop. You have to. There's many layers to all of them. Nims, you haven't seen yet. There's just many, like all of the girls. They're quite this season. They're quite vindictive, and they've got like hidden motives, which you'll see with Abi and Elisha. Yeah. But like I said, this is only episode 2. When we get into it, you see how they develop. So I just have to.
Can I just address that really quickly? I think it's important to show what happens, the bad things that happen to girls, because you don't see girls at all in anything. So if you're going to show them, show what happens to them. Really, don't show them as a good, like, we all know people who get A stars and go to university, whatever. We know those girls. That's not what we're interested in. We want to see what actually happens, because girls don't get represented.
The realness. Talking about girls, what about the guys? Because there's this terminology that's kind of hitting up Black Twitter, BBC London News, ITV London News, which is this toxic masculinity. And again, if you're from the ends or if you're not from the ends, it's unavoidable that our young brothers are being shot, stabbed. Natasha first, and then I definitely want to touch on all the guys up here and the guys in the audience. Do you feel as if sometimes, even though we're representing exactly what's happening in our ends, these kind of series can glamorize toxic masculinity, or is this just part of what's happening?
I think, for me, can I take this one first? I think that we're not glamorizing it, because I think that in the show you see Rashid talk about his journey with his dad and what he went through. I think we show it, which is true, it's happening, it's there, but I don't think we glamorize it, if that makes sense. It's like making you aware of it, but then showing you the other side to it. Do you know what I mean? It's just giving you the realness, the truth.
Rashid?
Glamorizing, definitely I agree with him, definitely not glamorizing. It's everyday things, isn't it? This is what, if you grow up in the end, you know what's happening there. It's like, you don't have to be a person that's in a gang to know what's going on. You can go to school and get the latest gossip. You can go online and get the latest gossip. Like, everything's on Insta nowadays, for example. So it's like, I think it's just making sure people...
I've got something to say about it. Oh, another black guy's died in South London, another black boy has been shot in South London. They always put it normally for South London. But really and truly, it goes on in every single area. And it doesn't have to be someone from an estate or from a council estate. It could be the rich people that are involved with these. And a lot of it is programmed that, are boys. It's only now that people are losing their children, it's become with other races as well.
It's urban now, isn't it?
Yes, urban now. Before, it wasn't urban, it was just another black boy stabbed in South London, another black boy. But, I mean, like, EastEnders, they've touched on a boy being stabbed, make it viral. They're making it like, it's not just our men, it's every single boy now is being stabbed. And what Tash, I think, is trying to portray is, it's not to be shoved under the carpet no more. It's there, and we need to realise that this is what's going on with the boys in general.
And I'll just say quickly, I think a lot of this shows how young men are railroaded into it. When you watch further on, like she said, it's not, a lot of these characters, they're not this is not where they want to be. Especially like you see with Rashid's character. It's not where they want to be.
Even
It's kind of,
you
I don't want to
touched
talk
on
too
the
much yet because I know the spoiler, but yeah. my character's a good example of being role-modeled into this life.
Yeah,
So,
you
yeah.
had a double life, didn't you?
Yeah, he is living a double life.
You live in a double life. So even though we say it's not glamorizing, is what we're portraying, is this basically all that we can sell of our people? And I think that's a genuine question.
I don't think any of the guys in Growing Pains have a glamorous life.
Yeah.
I would not call any of their lives
Everyone's
glamorous.
struggling.
So I don't think
Everyone's
anyone
struggling.
wants to have that life. If you want to, that doesn't seem like a nice life to me at all. So I don't know what...
Tash?
Yes?
Tash,
Yeah.
talk to me, because again, I said I've known Tasha for 20 years. 20 years. And Tash, you definitely weren't one of the naughty girls in schoolboy, let me tell you. Not that I was, but I know Tasha wasn't.
Okay.
And even though I know we were from the same ends, how did you get the vision? What was it about the bits?
My friends and everyone around me. Not all of them, but like, no, they're great people. But I'm saying,
Tasha always had a great crowd.
no,
trust
my
me.
crowd from school are right there, all there. But what I'm saying is that these are things that happen, even if it's like you know, it's your friend or your friend's brother. This is it, you know. So
Tellemso,
Hello there.
my brother, you were in a lot of beef.
Am I in beef or have I got
You
problems?
were in a lot of beef. Talk to me about your
Okay,
character.
there's a
Rita
difference.
said that she didn't. It was difficult for her that she didn't recognize herself in her character. Did you recognize yourself at all in yours?
Yeah, because a lot of it is to do with oppression.
Depression, oppression.
A lot of it. Like, people think that majority of the stuff that's happening to the characters is just in within the street. It isn't. The root is deep from it, which is why it's like black drama.
Yeah.
We basically are giving you like the outcome of what's happened from then to now. So with my character now, it's not actually me having beef. It's like all I want is my money. If I put you on, simple. But if somebody can't do that, then it all messes up.
Yeah.
You got dysfunctional people. Do you not look closely? I started to look like sick and unwell, and yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure anybody that knows anyone
People
who's
thought it was
into
funny, but
beef
it
or
actually
fraud.
it ain't
It's
funny.
not. It's not.
I
It's
didn't
serious.
laugh at none of those parts at all. Not
What
because
about-
it's me doing it. Maybe it's to be based on like my background, where I've come from. But no, like in general, this stuff is still going on today.
It is. What about the chemistry amongst you guys? Is that important? Because it shows on screen, but like, did you guys have a lot of time together, researching the characters?
No, but I think with us it's all about tolerance.
Yeah.
You know, so just what you're willing to tolerate. It's just about being professional, being tolerant. That's all.
Okay. Tyler,
Yes.
what about the rape scene again? As Rita said, we were all laughing about it, but it's actually not a joke. It's really, really serious. How did you feel playing that, and did it affect you at all?
Yeah, it did a bit because that happened to a couple of my like girlfriends,
Wow.
and like they felt scared like coming out of their house and everything, kind of like Rita's character, like they just started going down and didn't want to go out their house and stuff like that.
I'm an old lady, so I kind of understood both things, but I thought the rub between those two characters was excellent. It really came across.
Yeah.
But it was a real struggle
Yeah.
about rape and whether women actually do recognise that they've been raped and that men recognise they're raping a woman.
Yeah, 'cause I think
If she says no, she said no. She
He
did
was
say
open
no.
by saying
Yeah, she
it.
said no,
She
but-
said no.
Yeah.
You actually
Yeah.
said it, but you didn't believe that
Yeah.
you'd raped her.
Yeah,
And
that wasn't his
God.
intention. Yeah, but what he done was just.
I
all
thought
over
that
the
was
place.
just a really excellent.
That's a really good point. But do you think we have to be very careful then, Natasha? Even though we've only seen two episodes,
Yeah.
because again, he comes across as being really innocent and, oh my God, you know, I really didn't mean to do it. And then you've got Rita's character who comes across as being brash. You don't really want to forgive her. So I suppose as well, we have to be very careful when we're creating these characters on screen, because we're not supposed to be
But
sympathising
the
with
thing
him, are we?
It's all types of people that do these things. So it is the nice guy. I see things. It is the good-looking people that will rape. You don't have to be ugly and smelly to rape someone. You can be the best-looking guy. So I think it was brilliant that they done that. I think it was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it because you didn't see that coming. You didn't see it coming.
Yeah, you didn't.
No,
Why did you make his character so innocent?
Because there are people like that, and he has other layers. That's what I mean. He's got so many issues. Like, we haven't even touched on his body morphia issues yet. You know, he's just got so many layers, and like that's what I just want to explore.
It's interesting that Tyler. It's interesting that you said that you don't think he meant to rape her. Because
I don't think he did.
But see, I didn't think
he likes you.
Yeah, but I don't think you cannot mean to rape someone. I think if you rape someone, you rape someone, whether you mean, you have mean to rape.
I think the fact he tells everyone she said no, deep down he knows.
He knows.
It's classed as rape. Maybe he feels like if she, I feel like when it happened, he was like, just do it. Like he felt like after she's gonna be like, oh, that was fine, I love you, but it's not. It's rape. So he was deluded.
Let's move on swiftly because we haven't got much time here. I want to talk to you, Tasha, about the same-sex couple that we have on screen. Round of applause, guys. You did amazing. You know, I'm African Nigerian, East London born and raised, but I would say openly in the African Nigerian community, it's just a complete taboo. Yes, I know African Nigerian gay men and women. We don't talk about it. Why did you decide, Tasha? And I can't speak for Caribbeans, but I can speak, I would say, for the black community, that it's great that you did this, but why did you make their relationship so complex? Why wouldn't it have just been a relationship we see on screen where it's like, okay, yeah, we just have to accept them, she's pregnant, she's got a baby, and they're in a relationship. Why did you then add the violence? Just explain that.
To be honest, I thought it was just a nice touch.
It's drama, right? It's drama.
It's quite boring.
It's like any other relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, like they're gonna have ups and downs. I mean, their downs are just really bad.
You say that, but because again, our stories are not really portrayed on TV. Yes, on the internet, this is a web series. But then if you're going to tackle a complex subject and story like that, people are going to be like, right, okay, she went there, yeah, bravo. But then, but the girlfriend's a baddie. Why did you decide to do that? Was it purely for the drama, or did you just want to show, as our brother said,
things that are like done all the time? I think that isn't explored much. And so I decided to go down that route.
Yeah.
I mean, let's push boundaries.
That does go on in girl and girl relationships. Unfortunately.
Quite a high percentage, would you say?
Yeah, I would say there is a lot of people that just, you know, not necessarily in Nims' situation, they're pregnant and but there can be situations where they have got a boyfriend and, you know, they've got a girlfriend and it's a little bit tricky, obviously, but the pregnancy bit, obviously Tash took that to a whole nother level. But definitely, you know, it can get a little bit aggressive, and girls fight anyway. And I always say to people, you got to think, like, if you got a boyfriend, like any girl that has a boyfriend and she sees, I use an example was this, if you see your boyfriend in a club or something and a woman talks to him, you automatically put your guard up as a woman. You're thinking, who's that girl talking to my man? Simple. Now you got to think, girls upon girls. You don't know who's a friend, who's not a friend. If she's bisexual, is that a man that she's talking to? Is she interested in him? So with women in general, they have insecurities, but then it becomes insecurities on top of insecurities that it can't be handled. And unfortunately, some relationships get out of.
So you found that relatable, did you?
Not to my life, but obviously, I know, I do know people that obviously been through, but not to that extreme. But yeah, they you know, they fight their girlfriends and stuff. So
I noticed when part of the scene happened where I think I said, you know, we're having this baby together, and I heard someone snigger in the audience.
Who was
it?
Who
No, it's fine because that's what because that's the whole point. In my head, the reason why that was done was because it's so unusual to them to see that, hold on, but clearly it's not your child, but you lot are bringing up this child together, and that's real. That's real. This is it, in a lesbian relationship, in a gay relationship. These are the questions. These are the things that happen. These are, you know, do we have children? How are people going to perceive the children that come out of this relationship? Is anyone going to take this child seriously? And yeah, I guess because you've got two females together, you kind of think, oh, okay, well, maybe it's level pegging. Maybe, oh, this is all right, it's just a little cat fight. But it could be just as serious as a man and woman. And it goes the other way too. It could be the other way around. It's not necessarily the stud or the more manly one that happens to be the aggressor. It can be. There's so many dynamics.
What's your reaction been, guys, from your family and friends? Does it seem, because to me, just coming here, watching it, you know, kind of from as a third party, it seems huge.
But it's not out yet.
It's not out.
This isn't out yet.
Yeah.
But this season, I feel like these 2 episodes are deeper than the whole of last season.
Yes.
So
you can tell.
I think that it's progression, and I think a lot of people will respond, well, hopefully positively.
Do you think we'd be able to have got away with these storylines on the BBC or Late Night Channel 4? Because to me, this is better than Top Boy. Top Boy was scary. Top Boy was scary. But this was like raw. And remember, Natasha is basically doing everything. So even with sounding or editing, you can imagine if this was slick, the storylines are just...
Yeah.
We haven't seen that before. But do you think you would have been able to keep the same storylines with the same-sex relationships, with the rape, and you know, talking about stabbing your father?
Not on the BBC.
And with the same-sex relationships, you see a lot more men right now on the TV, and I think it's because they're trying to accept. They're trying to make society accept men. It's a lot more acceptable for girls. When I go out personally, men tend to accept me more. Whereas if I was with a gay boy, I know my boys are gonna be like, I respect that brother's gay, but yeah, stay over there now, stay over there. You know what I'm saying? But
Sorry, just quickly, that's so interesting that you say that, because I see that because my black friends, but with my white friends, completely the opposite.
Yeah.
Completely. So it's
they're very open. Like,
so they're open to having girls go with
like
gay guys, best friends.
Keep them over there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I really had a question for Rashid actually.
My sister.
I want to know how you feel playing your part with us two. It must be mad for you.
Love triangle.
No, it was a good challenge, I can't lie. But I think you lot made it easy as well, because I clicked with them like very easily, especially from that first thing we done outside when it was like, who's this one? And she's like, that's my love. I was thinking, alright. But it's like, because I've got a friend who's a lesbian, so that I've grown up with, so I kind of know how that side of things work, and I'm not a person that's against all that, so I'm kind of easy. But
you see what I'm saying? But it's more accepted.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
If you had a brother now that was gay, you'd be like,
all my friends are like
that.
To be fair, I think there's development. I think like it's developing. People are coming around to it, but remember, culturally, with your uncles, your family, you was told that it's bad as a kid. Sorry, family, if I'm putting you on blast. I'm just saying, like, you're told that it's bad, and now, even your own family, they're changing their tune. So I think people are coming around to it as times are moving on.
Yeah.
Can I just say, like, with Sue's character, I noticed like how everybody reacted.
Sue's mummy.
Sue's mummy.
Yeah.
Right. So how everyone reacted to the things that she was saying, because it's things that we've all heard.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've all heard this. We all know.
Exactly.
Right? It's just like, that's the mummy we expect.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's like, and it's true. And it's true. That is what people are like. So.
I'll tell you, it's crazy for me though, because I've never experienced
a mum like that.
A mum, yeah. To be honest, I've been very lucky. My family was very okay with everything, and people that I've gone out with, I've never had a problem with their family. So for me, that was probably a quite an uncomfortable experience, because it's like, rah, your mum's proper guy, and I'm like, like, let me come out. That was one of my.
Just, I'm soon going to wrap up. Can I ask as well, guys? And this is me asking as a journalist and being absolutely in love with Growing Pains. Is this just a drama, or because we don't tell our own stories enough, do you think we need to be more responsible about the characters we portray, about the storylines we portray, or is it just purely entertainment? Or do we need to, because we don't have much of a platform, when we're doing something, do we need to be like, fucking hell, can't write that because I don't want somebody to see us in this light? Or is that just, are we being too hard on ourselves? Should we just say, hey, do you know what? Let me put it out, and wherever it goes, it goes.
I think everyone's gonna have different.
It's only Tash.
Yeah, and I'd like to hear from everybody on that.
Only Tash can really answer that.
She'll be the one to be like, I want you to do this.
But I'm not trying
Go on, Tash.
But when I'm writing this, I'm not trying to say, oh, I have a responsibility, I have to show. I'm literally just writing stories that, like, there's nothing on TV that I can relate to. There's not any stories that I'm like,
including
that looks like me.
Adulthood, adulthood.
No, not really. No, it's very crime. It's like, I know that I touch on it, but that's what I mean. Like, you just have to wait. It's like an onion. Like, there's many, many layers. Like, these characters are so, like, it's a lot. It blows my mind. So you just have to wait. But I don't feel a responsibility. I'm just trying to show different sides of different people.
Okay. Please, anybody?
I think this is, I think it should go out to the public, but I also think that more intimate discussion is really necessary to back up something like this, that it needs to go out to groups of young people, and not just young people, older people who always kind of put down youth culture, there's no understanding of it.
What's next for Growing Pains?
Well, the aim's finished this season. So when we finish this season, my aim is to get funding. Like, I really want to push it to a channel. That's the big goal.
Okay.
How I do that is another story. But that's the aim. I just feel like there's nothing like this on TV.
No.
And, like, I don't know what I'm going to have to do to get there. That's the problem. But I'm going to try.
Because a lot of the things you do, you don't agree with on a personal level.
Okay.
So sometimes, sometimes it's hard. It might not look like it's hard, but it's hard.
Yeah, look like it's hard times in
No, on the real though, kissing his girlfriend, I didn't want to do that.
He didn't.
I was like, can't she move to me? I don't want to. I feel like it's wrong.
Okay. That's interesting.
So that was the biggest learning, stepping outside of what you agree with.
Tellemso.
Yeah. What have I learned from my character?
Yeah, just your final thoughts, my brother.
I've learned that you always can't be the bad guy, and there is emotions involved, especially with men, because everyone's touching up on women, but they ain't really touching up on men. You're not all stiff. Like, you're not all stiff.
Yes, we know that.
All we do, we're just used to seeing on TV of the dominant character of a male, but there is dominance in the female world as well.
Yeah.
Just like the love I have for my sister, but she's not going to listen to me, even though there's still love there. She still put a man in front.
Yeah. She's a powerful character.
What I'm
You're
saying?
a powerful character, by the way. Wow.
So yeah, like it's not all what it seems. Put it that way.
Yeah. Tyler.
Yeah, with the rape scene, I absolutely hated it. Like when Tash said, "Okay, you're doing that," I was like, "All right, cool." But then I left the scene, and I just hating myself a little bit, like, and hating my character, because I was like, right, is this how it feels to actually, rape a girl? Like, it was really hard to do, but obviously, like, awareness and that. Yeah. Yeah.
Go on, Rash.
I enjoyed it. I feel like I like challenges, so it's like pushing yourself somewhere in it. So I like all of that personally.
But did you like it, especially because your character's trying to change? Is that great?
Yeah, it's different because past experiences. It took me a while to grow up. Let's just say that. But to see the other side of it, and then it's like I've got a little bit where I'm looking at my brother. He's robbing a shop, and he's got like.
That was deep. Actually.
Yeah, for me that was a bit of a joke thing. So it's like I'm looking and thinking, was I really doing that? And if I was doing that, what was I on? So it's like to see the transition. It's good. I like it. So let people know there's hope for Ash.
Rita, pretty.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's weird. It's a weird role for me, but it's interesting seeing. I think the character's weird because she's the same age as me.
Wow.
But she's obviously
completely opposite.
A lot, yeah, and a lot younger than like.
Mentally.
Yeah. So it's interesting that seeing playing a character that's the same age but acts 10 years younger than I do. But yeah, it was interesting.
Anything else from the audience? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to commend Tash and all
don't
the
gas
people
me.
who sit on the
I need a team.
seen him on site, but not much. You don't want to do too much.
No, it's good.
It's gonna get better.
They don't have anything like this.
You need a new story.
What they do, when it gets on Chants or the BBC, they just whitewash the characters. So it's like you're kind of bland. You've got a speaking role, but there's no depth. With this one, every character you're like, oh, I wonder, what's his story? What's her story? Even the young girl that wants to get the gun for her boyfriend. What's that background?
We're now at the premiere of Growing Pains. I was here last week with my wife. You get me? We're just in the hotel. This is what we do. We do it all the time here. This West nothing. We're here all the time. Light work. Man's a cleaner here. You get me? You know like that. Work here every time. No. What are you saying though? We're gonna do a picture or not?
Should we do a picture on my phone?